Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sean LaFlock. I'm here with Scotty Hagness. This is Conversations, Fitness, Wellness, and Longevity live from the Crossfit Games. Scotty, how goes it?
It's going good.
I'm an
Looking
announcer.
good there, too, with the nice ball done.
I got a little shine on my head right now.
Yeah.
Really popping right now, looking like a complete ping pong ball. I'm in announcer mode right now since I've been at the CrossFit Games here in Madison. I've been doing my live stream for my CrossFit gym, and for those who are jumping onto it as well on CrossFit Delray Beach Facebook page and following along. Obviously, they're finally started to do the Masters stream on the CBS Sports website and the Games website, but you can get some firsthand account and really going into my athlete Mayra Brandt for her workouts. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go dive right into it. Going into Wednesday, we were in good shape. She has had a meniscal issue on her left side. Her right side there's some. So what I believe it is I think, so she's had an issue with it for over a year now, and she did it doing pistols. I believe it's the hamstring, the biceps femoris tendon insertion into the head of the fibula. Mm-hmm. So if you've ever done like deep squatting before and had that pull in the back of your knee, that, it could potentially be like posterior horn of the lateral meniscus, but what I believe it is when you get under tension in the bottom of the squat, or when you're getting into the bottom of the squat under load, but you don't have tension through your hamstring, it's going to yank on the joint. And I think that's kind of what's happened over time for her. And then the fibula will posteriorly translate and rub across the tendon as well. So I think she's just got some tendinosis, and it flared up during the third workout 2 days ago. So the first workout was the obstacle course. It was done in 2 heats, and she won her heat. Ended up finishing third on that workout, which is a nice way to start the weekend. The second workout was the handstand walk over the obstacle, and she actually won that, which was great. I mean, that's a huge, huge W, especially going against CrossFit Games competitors. And then the third workout of the day was the snatches and double unders. No one was going to catch Anna Tobias, who actually went touch and go through the bar of 155. It was 5 snatches, 4 snatches, and 3 snatches, 2 snatches, 135, 45, 55, 65, with 50 double unders in between. She went unbroken on her double unders and went unbroken on her snatches until the 165 bar, and then just had 2 reps and then walked through the finish line first. Mayra was neck and neck. She got no rep on her first rep just because of her depth, but so she was kind of like hanging right with Teresa Trojanowski, who's another solid lifter who snatches about 215. She's from CrossFit Invictus, or trains under the guys at CrossFit Invictus. So solid athlete. She also did very well in the handstand walk. She was neck and neck with her, and then after the third round of double unders, she started favoring her right leg, and that's when it went. And she finished up the round of 155 snatches and was doing her double unders on one leg for the last round. So she got snaked out on to get 4th place on that workout, but was crushed afterward. I think complete shutdown mode definitely freaked her out, but also obviously there's something there that probably went. They did like a kind of K-tape job on it to kind of compress that tendon and see if it would like hold up over the weekend. And that's something that we've never done before. So sometimes when you tack down a muscle and then you put it under tension, it could potentially be even worse for it. I've done it with my back before, where I've K-taped my back and done like deadlifting, and it actually seizes up worse. You know what I mean? It's almost the equivalent of like if you have a cramp coming on and you press down on the area, it just cramps even worse. Mm. So she couldn't bend her knee past 10, 20 degrees of flexion yesterday, like legit was in tears kind of thing. And, for me as a coach, I'm just trying to make her as present as possible and trying to let go of any kind of attachment and expectation that she has and just accepting what is. And it's really, really hard because I've been on that side of it. But as I'm kind of talking to her, I'm envisioning myself needing that person that I needed when I was in that position. When you're banged up or whatever, and you're saying the things that they need to hear, regardless of the response that they have. All the excuses. Well, I want it this way, and just calling them out on it and be like, listen, that's just not the way it is. This is not going on right now. So, for her is just kind of staying present and just taking what the workouts give her and really surrendering to what the experience is giving her. and taking it one rep at a time and really slowing down. And whatever happens, happens. I'm optimistic that this will get better through the weekend. I don't think it'll get worse. We have a great massage therapist, Martin Fitzpatrick, who's traveled with us. She's got the Normatex, so she's got as much recovery as she can. It's more of like just kind of being okay with where we're at, and kind of like a Tony LaRusso, or is his name LaRusso from Karate Kid, kind of just gonna have to Miyagi it and crane style this weekend.
Yeah. Is there anything looming that's been announced that looks troubling? Or I know we don't still, as of this recording, know everything that's.
So I was just looking over the events. So she just finished her first event today and was able to do it. She wasn't able to split jerk. So we were warming up and she was having problems getting onto that right leg. So I was like, you know what? We're pulling the plug on that. We're going to push jerk, and we'll see how far we can get with that. So she couldn't hit 185 on a split, and we built up to 205 in the warm up, and she missed 215 twice. I was like, all right, we're opening up at 205. So she hit 205, then went 215, and then hit 220. All three push jerks completed, and ended up finishing tied for 8th. The winning score was a 240, and I know Mayra's hit 245. She just recently hit 230 in training. So, when you're looking at the overall kind of like scheme of things, she's doing it. So that's the most important thing. But, I mean, if she's 100%, she's sitting in second place right now. Maybe in first place right now.
Because there's only a couple points off the lead, at least as of.
Yeah, she's so right now. I think, and again, this is so early in the weekend. I don't even know why we're talking about this, but just for the posterity, for just consideration. Sam Briggs has been up and down this entire time just because she has some significant holes in her game right now. She couldn't snatch yesterday, and she couldn't do the split jerks. I mean, she's not strong on the split jerk, and her handstand walking isn't good. So there's 3 events that exposed her right away, and that's an uphill battle for her. That being said, she just smashed the triplet, which I knew she would, and Anna Tobias was right back behind her. And then we have a run, rope climb, yoke carry, which I'm pretty sure they're going to finish 1 and 2 again. So if there's more workouts like that this weekend, it's going to be a very good weekend for Sam Briggs. If there's more workouts that test overhead ability, it'll slow her down a little bit, or max effort lifting or something like that. But if there's just metabolic stuff, which there's a good amount coming up, you're going to see Sam start to climb the leaderboard, and everybody else is going to start to shake in their boots. So it's kind of just staying in your lane and making sure that you're doing exactly what you need to do and not worrying about what other people are doing. And hopefully by the end of the weekend, you at least have a shot in that last couple workouts and making a move.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But have you ever had somebody with some issue like that or experienced it yourself there, Scott? That little behind the knee fibula head kind of deal?
Yeah, I mean, I have some stuff I deal with right now that's like I can't really do pistols on one leg, and it sounds somewhat similar. I know it has something. I haven't fully sorted it out myself, but I do. It has something to do with internal rotation of the tibia, and it may well be a posterior sliding on certain movements.
Yep.
Yeah,
and once that thing flares up,
there's not a lot. I have found, in my personal case, things that I can calm it down somewhat, but it still doesn't mean I can do. Like I'm not doing a pistol no matter how well I prep it,
Yeah.
And I've had it before, and then it will clear up rather magically, and then suddenly I can do pistols and crossing pistols, no sweat. It's interesting.
Which leg is it on, Scott?
It's my left.
Yeah. It's just funny how that works, and I think some of it is possibly just jamming up the ankle as well, or maybe just lack of flexibility through the knee joint itself.
How is there? I know that my subtalar joint will get locked, and I don't know that might actually. I don't know whether it's chicken or egg.
Yeah.
But generally, if I free that up, then it does feel better.
Yeah. So we'll definitely look
see what kind
a
of
little
ankle
bit.
stuff. Yeah. See that lateral. And I literally just cross my leg, grab a hold of the. I can actually show you pretty.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. Can you see it there?
You're good. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to use both hands, but I'm getting it mobilized like that, and it should glide like the other one. You can look at the other leg and compare them and see.
That's a good point. I'll take a look at that. She's fairly hypermobile through the joints, but the thing is that if she lacks stability through something, that's just a whole different story. The other thing with her is that she doesn't know how to use her hamstring. So like even on like a prone hamstring curl where I'm like, just pull your foot to your butt, it's more of a flexing of the calf.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yes.
she just flexes her calf and kind of
that.
tightens everything up instead of just kind of letting her calf relax and just pulling her heel to her butt.
Yep.
You know, so she's just super dominant on her calves, and that's not a surprise being a gymnast where you're basically running on your toes. So they don't really know how to use their hamstrings. Well, for her in particular, she really doesn't know how to use her hamstrings. So you picked a hell of a weekend not to be able to use her hamstrings. And it also affects her in her squatting as well because she's unable to keep upright positions because she's not able to access hamstring to pull the position into an upright position. You know what I mean? So kind of forced to just sit back and drive her knees out, which is just a bad recipe over time. I mean, she did that last workout on one leg. She did the dumbbell front rack squats. So she had 35 pounds per hand. She did them on essentially one leg, 100 squats. So her left leg is now trashed. You know, there's no lack of fight in her. It's just a matter of like, you know, being just going with what we got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And seeing where the chips fall. But this afternoon we have a rope climb run yoke carry. She's a little concerned about the yoke carry, being able to move it. We've practiced this workout. As a matter of fact, we practice yoke carries and running and all sorts of other skills. I just had a feeling that yoke carries would be in the Masters for the first time ever. Just had one of those feelings. And then sure enough, it came up. And my gut in terms of the ski erg and the bike, I was like, we got to get one. And sure enough, it comes out in one event. Yeah. But the rowing that we've been doing has definitely helped her out overall in that workout. The crystal ball was pretty accurate in terms of the shoulder overhead. I had her build to a max last week. Sure enough, the max comes out. And then handstand walking we've been doing. I mean, we knew that was going to come just because it was last year. Yeah. But in terms of new stuff, back squatting. Tomorrow it's 6 muscle ups, 6 back squats at 185, 5 rounds. And about 8 weeks ago, she was going through a progression of 20 back squats at 165, rest, like 2 minutes. And then 8 muscle ups and then multiple rounds of that. So kind of like a muscular endurance kind of deal that we were doing. And sure enough, that came out. So she should be nice and confident. That being said, like, you know, if she's doing her back squats on one leg, she's doing her back squats on one leg. But at least they're 185 and, you know, she was doing 165 for 20. So the 185 for 6. And it's not something that she has to worry about in terms of like her lower body once she gets to the muscle ups. It's going to be a muscle up workout. And then it's box jump overs, and hopefully she just kind of slugs through that and makes it happen and just minimizes the effects. But the biggest thing the takeaway from this last workout is just her ability to pace and not have to dig in nearly as deep to get the result. It was much more sustainable. And when she got done with the workout, it wasn't like the life got sucked out of her. She was like, that sucked, but like, I'm okay.
Oh, good.
You know, last year it was like, whoa, like we might need to get like an IV and like some smelling salts kind of deal. She was just out of it and just crushed. So I'm learning from last year. Every workout that she does, I'm like, pace it more conservatively and leave some on the table because this doesn't matter. 1 or 2 places in a workout where you're not going to win doesn't mean shit. When it comes to Sunday, you have to have something left for those last 2 workouts because you know they're going to be short and fast. And the number of places that you're going to have between, you know, 1st and 2nd or 1st and 5th or 1st and 10th is going to be so quick. You need to have that extra gear so that when you do it, you can actually go.
Yep. Yeah, and a lot of people don't have a lot left by that last week. And so even competitors that were pretty strong early on, you know, maybe faltering if you can save some enough to catch them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the plan. I mean, on these workouts, staying super conservative and just kind of taking our medicine and learning from our mistakes from last year. Because there was a workout last year, I think it was 4 rounds of 400-meter run with a vest out in the sun. And then it was like air squats and then burpee box jump overs. And she just went too hot out the gate and tried to hold on for 20 minutes. And I was like, that was it. That was the weekend right there. That was the...
Yeah,
so if we were to go back in time and just be like, you know what, let's just take our medicine here. We'll get 18th place and save some for Sunday. But you can't know that until you go through it. Like I thought that was a workout where she would do okay, and it did not pan out that way. So this next workout is not too dissimilar. It's going to be 4x300. So it's 4 rounds, 300-meter run. Then it's descending rep scheme of rope climbs. So it starts off with 4 rope climbs and 3 rope climbs, 2 rope climbs, 1 rope climb, and then each round you're doing a yoke carry of 44 feet with I think it's like 380 pounds. So stuff that we've practiced before, and the rope climb should be good. It's going to be like, can you maintain your heart rate and pace during this effort?
Yeah.
For her, I hope that the run, though she can't push the pace, she can keep her heart rate in check enough where she can make up some ground on the rope climb and the yoke carry.
Yeah.
And stay super fast and super efficient there. And then rest up and come back tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, it goes right back into some squatting. It's that 5 rounds of muscle ups and back squats. And then there's a swim for the second workout, which she's actually looking very much forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Because
500 meters,
500 meter swim.
Yeah.
Because last year that was one that she completely faltered on. And she got beat
I
up
remember
on
that.
it.
Yeah,
and she finished like 16th or something like that. And we've, sure enough, the crystal ball comes out again. We've been doing multiple 400 yard open water swims in a session. So if she can get into the water and get comfortable, she can finish in the top 5 or 6, which is great relative to where she was last year. And then it finishes off the day with a chipper, and Mayra loves chippers, but it starts off with deficit handstand push-ups, which she should be okay with as long as she can kip with a knee bent. I think it's 30 deficit handstand push-ups, 40 deadlifts, 50 calories on the bike, and then 60 burpees over the bar. So she gets to do the bike erg, and again, it's a chipper, so she moves on. Again, if you're going to put a gun to my head, I would say, Anna Tobias, Sam Briggs, Mayra. You got to have super good handstand push-up efficiency, just because 30 is not going to be something you can just kind of sneak through. Yeah. And then from there, seeing what you got left on those burpees over the bar. But that one's going to be a pain zone one on those last 60 over the bar. So we'll see how that goes. And then what happens on Sunday? We have 2 workouts on Sunday, and Dave Castro says they're going to be pretty significant. So we're looking to just, I want to have some kind of expectation and say, hey, we should be able to do this. But honestly, I want to let go of that and just say, you know what, let's just take it one workout at a time and do the best we can. And at the end of the weekend, I think it's going to be much better to just give our best effort, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yep. Agreed. You guys have an event coming up here fairly shortly, right? At 1
so our next event, it's 1:00 local time here, and we go again at 5:30. So right now, it's just so happens that I have a little bit of a break, so we can kind of record this podcast. So luckily enough, in terms of like nutrition and stuff, I know we've gone over this, Scotty. But how about hydration?
Mm-hmm.
What is your thoughts on hydration during a competition like this?
Yeah, well, I lean definitely toward the side of that for some individuals. Actually, I would say a lot of individuals probably need a lot more sodium than what, it's typically, in standard hydration protocols.
Mm-hmm.
I've personally kind of been looking into some of the stuff that the precision hydration guys have put out as far as sweat test and salt, kind of figuring out how much low-tech way of figuring out how much salt you need. So we need other electrolytes as well, but salt is, especially for a lot of athletes, is predominant. So I kind of trend toward, and again, especially with it being, and actually I don't know what the weather is there today, but, if it's warmer, it's going to greatly increase.
Yep, she was sweating like a horse during that last workout, so I was pink sea salting her Gatorade and water and just making her chug that.
Yep, yeah, perfectly, yeah.
Is there a kind of a definitive way of knowing if you need to go a certain way, Scott? Like, or a more anecdotal way of like knowing if you're in the right place? Like, how do you know if you're kind of needing more or needing less?
When I do longer events, or when I have folks I've worked with doing longer events, this is typically more endurance oriented things. But like, if you have a salt craving, well, you definitely are. You needed more. And it's where kind of dialing it in over a number of efforts can be pretty helpful. But some way you can know is just kind of like, are you one of those people that on a hard training day ends up with, salt crystals in your eyebrow or on your hat, or do you, when you dry off after a workout, you have patterns of dried salt in your clothes, for just as an example. If you're one of those people, then that tells you that you are someone who loses a lot of sodium in your sweat, and definitely do better with more salt. If that isn't you, you don't sweat much, and it's not really that salty, then maybe you don't have that issue, and then maybe a more normal hydration type strategy would be useful.
Yep. Miss Mayra is a heavy sweater. I don't know how much salt, because she never really has salt all over her clothing, but she's a self-professed heavy sweater.
Mm-hmm. So you definitely know at least a large volume for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're curious, or anyone's curious, Precision Hydration, they have a sweat test that you can do, and they have kind of questionnaires that kind of figure out how much salt you lose. So really, it's not like it doesn't require any technology or expense. The sweat test just requires you being able to weigh yourself before, after, and also the exact quantity of liquids that you're consuming. So you can get it a little bit of an idea. So It's all low-tech stuff that won't cost you anything. They sell hydration stuff, obviously, but you can kind of glean a lot of good information just for your own concoctions from it.
Yep. So we'll keep that in consideration and just continue to stay hydrated, especially on those longer, hotter workouts where, the warm-up itself and then, just standing around, you're sweating. But, yeah, overall, I think just staying a little extra cautious about that, and especially in the morning, and, you have your coffee and that kind of stuff, but, getting on it early and in the evening as well, just making sure you're super hydrated.
Yeah. One other thing, just in the middle of the game day, and it can vary from day to day, is, if you ever find that you're just having to pee constantly, that can be a sign that your electrolytes are low, or potentially blood sugar is low, and then that's something you want to really try to bring up, because your body's dumping water to try and concentrate the
if you're constantly peeing before workouts, and then you see it, they're like, oh, I'm just nervous. It's like, or you're nervous, so you're drinking a lot of water, and then you're flushing yourself out.
And you're going to have non-optimal contractions and in a state where you don't have the proper electrolyte ratios on board. So.
Yep. Well, Scotty, I think the last thing we got to go over, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this. Did you happen to see the marathon row?
I actually did not get a chance to see. I watched everything earlier in the day, and I do want to go back and watch the beginning, end.
Yep, it's pretty much all you're going to need to watch.
So I will get around to that here at some point fairly soon. But it looked like there's some fairly impressive performances there. I scanned the times and see,
dude, 1:58 for 2 hours and 48 minutes or something like that, 45 minutes. That's insane.
Gnarly, yeah.
And he was the same guy who won the CrossFit Total.
Yeah. For a minute I was like,
first or second.
He was very high. Yeah.
Yes. He won the row and then took second in the total.
I had to go back and double check that I didn't see, and I was like, wow.
It's unbelievable.
So who says you can't master both domains, right?
Man, if you got a person who's pulling over 500 pounds in a deadlift and is holding a 1:58 for 42,000 meters, it's a pretty fit dude.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
I will say that the crit in the beginning of the week, the beginning of the day, was pretty cool. I thought it was really well done. There was that was very apprehensive, but I think they took the precautions, and they made them aware of what to do and that kind of stuff. And it seemed like most of them were comfortable on the bike, so there really wasn't that much of an issue. And unfortunately, there was one female who crashed toward the end and ended up having to withdraw. But for the most part, everybody had not much of an issue. On the men's side, Noah Olsen lost a pedal during the workout.
I saw that.
Which just sucks.
And somebody else had some bike issues. Yeah, there was a crash.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm drawing a blank. Had technical issues too, like chain came off and lost a bunch of time.
Yes. Incredible how that stuff happens. During a race. Just pushing it to the limit. And you know what happens though is if you're not used to riding and you're changing gears, you got to know how to change gears. You can't you can't jump a gear and then smash a pedal, and you smash on the pedals. You just can't do it. You got to learn how to progress through the gears and that kind of stuff, and know the bike and that kind of thing. So, I mean, if you only rode the bike 2 times, you're not going to learn that. You got to have something similar and be able to feel it out.
There's going to be some hiccups with the equipment.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, Scotty, I think that's probably good for today. I'm going to start getting organized and get prepared for the evening session. It is Friday here, so we got 2 more days of hard competing, and I'm going to try to do as best as I can as a coach and put my athlete in the best position possible for success. So
awesome. Well, best of luck to you guys.
Thank you very much, Scotty.
Cheering and watching from here.
I appreciate it, and we'll do a little wrap up next week for the CrossFit Games, and then we'll move into the next phase of the year.
Yeah, sounds great.
Sounds good, Scotty. I'll talk to you next week.
All right. Talk to you then.
Later, dude.
Later.